The Children's Bible, Luke 7. The Ministry of Jesus Continues. Now when he had ended all his sayings in the audience of the people, he entered into Capernaum. And there a certain centurion had a servant who was dear to him, who was sick and ready to die. And when he heard of Jesus, he sent to him the elders of the Jews, begging him to come and heal his servant. When the elders came to Jesus, they spoke to him, saying, He deserves that you should do this, for he loves our nation and has built us a synagogue. Then Jesus went with them. And when he was not far off from the house, the centurion sent friends to him, saying, Lord, do not trouble yourself, for I am not worthy that you should enter my house. Nor have I thought myself worthy to come to you. But say the word, and my servant shall be healed. For I am a man of authority. Having under me soldiers, I say to one, Go, and he goes, and to another, Come, and he comes, and to my servant, Do this, and he does it. When Jesus heard these things, he marveled, and turning around, he said to the people that followed him, I say to you, I have not found such great faith, no, not in Israel. And when they that were sent returned to the house, they found the servant healed that had been sick. The next day he went into a city called Nain, and many of his disciples went with him, and many people. Now when he came to the gate of the city, behold, there was a dead man being carried out, the only son of his mother, who was a widow. And many people of the city were with her. When the Lord saw her, he had compassion on her, and said to her, Weep not. Then he went over and touched the coffin, while they that carried it stood still. And he said, Young man, I say to you, arise. And he that was dead sat up, and began to speak. And Jesus delivered him to his mother. And there came a great fear on all, and they glorified God, saying that a great prophet has risen up among us, and that God has visited his people. The disciples of John told him all these things, and John called 2 of them and sent them to Jesus, saying, Are you he that is to come, or are we to look for another? In the same hour, when the men came, he cured many of their sicknesses and plagues, and evil spirits. Then Jesus answered, Go your way, and tell John the things that you have seen and heard, how the blind see and the lame walk, the lepers are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, and to the poor the gospel is preached. And blessed is he who shall not be offended by me. When the messengers of John had departed, he began to speak to the people concerning John. What did you see when you went out into the wilderness? A reed shaken by the wind? But what did you go out to discover? Behold, they who are gorgeously dressed and live delicately are in king's courts. But what did you go out to see? A prophet? Yes, and I say to you, and much more than a prophet. This is he of whom it is written, Behold, I send my messenger who shall prepare your way before you. For I say to you, among those that is born of women, there is not a greater prophet than John the Baptist. But he that is least in the kingdom of God is greater than he. To what therefore shall I compare the men of this generation? What are they like? They are like children sitting in the marketplace and calling to one another, and saying, We have piped for you, and you have not danced. We cried for you, and you have not wept. For John the Baptist came neither eating bread nor drinking wine, and you say, He has a devil. The Son of Man has come eating and drinking, and you say, Behold, a gluttonous man and a drunkard, a friend of publicans and sinners.